Yeah. Welcome back to the HHW Show podcast, the hard hitting wrestling show. We are getting ready for the Royal Rumble. Yeah.
The
Yeah, I'm just
boy.
excited, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. I get that from TOS Wrestling. There's a guy there that always singing while he's wrestling, man. It's pretty dope. He's part of the Mission, and they're the heel of Test of Strength. Big shout out to them. Wonderful event that happened last Sunday. Definitely gonna upload it, all the pictures and everything on the HHW Show website this week. But thank everyone involved in there because they gave a terrific show. As far as here, listen, Raw, SmackDown, it's a lot of stuff going on, but we're gonna narrow it down, especially the takeaway between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. That storyline right there has a lot of visual. Now, whether those two happen or not for WrestleMania is we have to wait and see. I have some other ideas. I have a prediction of another winner for the Royal Rumble. But besides that, Hector, welcome to the show.
Hey, long time no see.
Ah, I know we just got done with our football podcast, the All Four Downs. So if you missed our divisional round picks, tune into All Four Downs on the YouTube channel on Facebook. But here we're going to definitely talk about some predictions of what could possibly happen between now and the Royal Rumble. And I want to say a big shout out to none other than not only myself and you, Hector, but our other counterpart, Frank Cuesta, who couldn't be here tonight. We want to say happy birthday to his son.
Yes.
They're celebrating. I think he's turning 15 today. And I know he loves to be here and everything else, but he's definitely going to be here next week.
Why are we both looking at Frank like with that face?
Let me go. Let me bring it back. We're both looking at him.
Yeah, and he got that face like, I'm sorry. It wasn't me. Right? I didn't mean to.
He has a lot to blame for me changing up the scores and everything else for that fantasy Royal Rumble that we're going to talk about momentarily.
That's that look.
But yeah. Well, and we'll get to that soon. But thank you, Steve, from the SCW Wrestling Channel. He was part of our committee for that Fantasy Royal Rumble. So in case you missed that, tune into our YouTube channel, and you could learn a lot from hearing the show, because not only that I talked about a fantasy of what could possibly happen in the ring, but also by the numbers. And you'd be surprised how many times an entry came in to win the Royal Rumble. So please tune into that. And of course, the winner of the 2024 Fantasy Royal Rumble is Roman Reigns. So no matter what happens, this guy always finds a way to win. And it must be the bloodline that took over the Royal Rumble.
Seems like it.
Yeah. But hey, like I said, we're getting ready for the Royal Rumble, and I can't wait. More people are being added to the list, but this here particular is the takeaway. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, they had their moment on Monday Night Raw, and I would like to share this with you because it's not only the fact that Rhea Ripley is running the women's division. She absolutely is. Okay, no question about it. She is probably the strongest woman in the WWE right now. I prefer her as more of a champion than Io Sky in SmackDown. You could disagree with me if you want there, Hector. But in order, like Ric Flair says, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? And there were some things that Becky Lynch had stated that I would never have thought that she will say. Okay, so she stood face to face with Rhea Ripley and talking about possibility of a match between them two at the WrestleMania. Now, the only way that could happen is Becky Lynch wins the Royal Rumble and chooses Rhea Ripley for the match and main event WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Okay. However, the things that she said was I'm just questioning her mindset out of the whole thing. And she stated, but there is this thought, this voice in my head, the things that keeps me awake and is asking and questioning and saying to me, I think you might be better than me. That's Becky Lynch telling Rhea Ripley that she may be better than her. Okay. Now, Lynch went on to say that in order to prove that she is better than Ripley, she has to take the title away from her. That currently she is the women's champion. Okay. And if she wins the Royal Rumble, she could choose any title, whether it's Rhea Ripley or Io Sky.
Mm-hmm.
She guaranteed that if she wins, the only option she has is Rhea Ripley. Okay. And I believe it. I believe it to a certain point. Okay. But here's the takeaway is the mindset. Okay. Negatively, she has a little bad attitude. I say bad attitude, but it's not that bad. But she's second guessing herself, saying that someone else is better than her. Now, is she accepting it in the reality that she is? Right? Because you're there to compete, so you got to like boost yourself and convince yourself that you're better than that other person and that you're willing to take that title away. That's why you fight. That's why you handle your business in the ring to take that title away. She wants to be the champion again. But if you go in there and you approach it and say, well, you know what? She might be better than me. Well, that doesn't sound convincing enough that you are willing to beat her and take that title away. What's your point of view on this?
When you speak it out, you're prophesying that that's what it is, and that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's okay to yourself to say, you know what, they may be better than me, but that should be a challenge. You should challenge your negative thoughts when you start doubting yourself, because just because you may think that she's better than you doesn't mean you got to speak it out. When you're doing that, you're already defeating yourself. And you're not focusing on your own strengths, because Becky Lynch got a lot of strengths. She's the man. She's been called the man for a reason. Okay. She doesn't dwell on the past. She doesn't dwell on the weaknesses, but she focuses on her strengths. But in this situation, she's already defeating herself and giving Rhea Ripley the victory. But in life, don't we, we struggle with self-doubt. Am I really good enough? Can I really do it? Am I really up to this challenge? Because we don't like failure. And maybe she
No,
doesn't. And maybe because she already lost cleanly to Nia Jax, she's already probably feeling defeated that she cannot beat Rhea Ripley.
right.
It could be a possibility.
I agree with you 100%. And that was in my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And if you tune into the HHW show website, there is a blog about this scenario right here, to where I did mention Nia Jax. She did lose her last match to Nia Jax. She got knocked out with that good punch, and she got pinned 1, 2, 3. And then if you're leading into the Royal Rumble, right? She may cross Nia Jax again.
Right.
Okay. Now, whether it's going to be herself or will she have people to help to eliminate Nia Jax? I don't think Becky Lynch is going to win. I still think that Becky Lynch is the person that's going to match up with Rhea Ripley, because that is best for business. That's
Right.
just my opinion. I don't think there's anyone else, unless we have a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble, which could possibly happen, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I think that this here should happen. And I believe that the winner of the Royal Rumble is going to come from SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that this match is going to be created to where in the Elimination Chamber, which is one premium event before WrestleMania, that the winner of the Elimination Chamber is going to go against Rhea Ripley. And the fact that Raw has more female superstars than SmackDown, it just makes sense that the sixth woman involved in the Elimination Chamber come from Raw,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But the few things that I like about this also is that in a positive way, she is willing to accept the challenge, right? She created a short-term goal is to win the Royal Rumble, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. Her long-term goal is to be a world champion, and not just not any champion. She wants to defeat the best champion in WWE right now, and that is Rhea Ripley. Okay. Now
Mhm.
that challenge is very difficult because Becky Lynch has to go through 29 other superstars to earn that ticket to main event WrestleMania.
Mhm.
And we don't even know what number she will be. And
Right.
I think the harder it gets if she gets closer to number one or be the number one entry and trying to make it all the way to number 30. That's going to be tough. But I still think that there are other women superstars that have a better chance in winning. Let's put it that way. Or they'll earn it more than the man. Because I think the man is on a decline right now.
Yeah, we could see that happening. Her declining down. So you're right. It doesn't it's not making sense as the time goes on for her to win this Royal Rumble. Maybe make a little bit of noise, just make her appearance there. Make her presence known. But
Well,
I still feel like it's Nia Jax though. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, look, if it's not Nia Jax, like I said, it got to be from SmackDown. I
right,
still think Bailey. Bailey
right,
has never won a Royal Rumble.
and
And she
she,
has a lot of accolades, right? She
yeah,
has a lot of accomplishments. She's the first Grand Slam champion,
hmm,
right? But she's never won the Royal Rumble. But the other four horsewomen have. Charlotte Flair has. Becky Lynch already won the Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks,
that
like,
would that would be a great storyline because
mhm.
Io Sky is the champion. Why not? I'm on board with you if you are correct on that.
I'm hoping that it's Bailey, and I'm a fan of her, of course. Um, but not just to think us out. There's only two females that I feel like is going to be there, and it's going to be my final four is Nia Jax, Bailey, uh, Becky Lynch, and I'm still figuring out the fourth one. I would like to say there has to be one of the damage control. And I want to say Asuka,
Hmm.
right? And if she was to eliminate Asuka, that's gonna force some type of storyline between Bailey and damage control,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Who is
Hmm.
the leader of damage control? But that's another story, right? And that's why I feel as though at Raw, you can have Becky Lynch with five other superstars being at the Elimination Chamber, and that would include Nia Jax. But something tells me that it's not going to be that simple because Nia Jax already defeated Becky Lynch.
Hmm.
That why not be a triple threat match? And yet, Rhea Ripley will still maintain the women's champion. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. Anything is possible, but as of right now, I just don't see Becky Lynch winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I don't either. She's already doubting herself and putting herself. She already defeated herself with that. Yeah, I already said that. So
Absolutely. And leading on to Bailey, like I said, which is my next topic. Who is the leader of damage control? It
what?
seems like Dakota Kai is translating everything that the Io Sky or Kerry Zane will say and stuff like that, right? And they didn't even help Bailey out when she had a match with Bianca Belair.
Hmm.
Now, I looked at it this way as you got the Kabuki Warriors and the women's champion Io Sky there, and they always brand on if you're going to be a leader, you have to show that you're a leader, right? And Bailey's always that talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. And keep in mind that there's history even before the damage control where Bailey did a lot of damage. Okay. As you can see here, Dakota Kai is telling Bailey, listen, you're gonna have to start doing things on your own, and pretty much you got to gain that respect back, right? But at the same time, Bailey's the one that made damage control. But what Bailey didn't do was create a bigger group. She's surprised in all this. There was only 3 people in this group. Now you have 5. So I got a feeling that Bailey is going to be out pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, she needs to start really paying attention to the signs. It's already been there. It's already in front of her face.
Mm-hmm.
So she needs to start seeing this and realizing that they're ousting her out of this. Especially, I mean, when um, you bring in Asuka, and then all of a sudden now you bring Kyrie Sang in. I
Well,
mean,
Kerry Sane was first.
well,
Asuka came afterwards, right? Remember that tag team matchup, and then Asuka turned on Bianca Belair. So I think that now this crew right here is the piece right here. You see the 4 women involved in damage control. You don't see Bailey in this picture. And I think we didn't see Bailey in this picture for a long time, right? How long did it take her to have Io Sky to become a champion? How long did so many things that happened to build up? And yet here we are, and Bailey's never in the picture, and the decision makings is not all there anymore. So who is the leader of damage control?
I, well, we know it ain't Bailey. I mean,
I think Kyrie Zane is the woman. And you know why? She always, you ever seen her stand? She's always mad, or
yeah,
she has that one of little one-liners and stuff. And I think like all 3 of them, Asuka and Io Sky, they talk to each other,
they
right?
do. They do. Yeah.
And then like there's Dakota Kai who translate everything.
Like,
So it's crazy.
so she learned the language. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I believe it. Dakota Kai has been in a lot of different wrestling promotions. So it wouldn't surprise me if she ended up wrestling in New Japan or something like that. But you're right. It is what it is, right? Like, um, I don't know, man. It's just interesting to see that we might see Bailey versus Io Sky for the women's championship.
I think we are eventually going to see that, but Bailey's going to have some kind of ally because if not, she's going to get ousted by the whole group here.
Could we get a Sasha Banks return? You know what I mean? Like she's the only one that was close to Bailey. Who else is close to Bailey besides Sasha Banks?
I mean, they've been seen already together. Okay, outside of the WWE, so it is possible, and I know Frank would like to see that.
Oh yeah,
And
but Bailey's burned a lot of bridges. So who will side with Bailey?
you know what? She may have burned a lot of bridges, but those who are close to her know the true Bailey, and they will back her up and stick by her. Anybody else who really doesn't have that relationship with her, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think will want to rebuild that bridge. But I think someone who has that long standing relationship, even though their bridge was burned, hey, your stuff stinks too on the other side. So why
Another
not?
superstar that we haven't mentioned that no one's talking about that's been in that era. Don't forget Alexa Bliss, which was also part of NXT. Let's not forget that even Charlotte Flair, who is injured, she can still pop out of nowhere and just be by her side. She does not have to wrestle. You know what I mean? Like they're just I think those 2 superstars alone could possibly be on Bailey's side. But don't forget, Karma's a bitch, man.
It is. It is.
Hmm.
But I mean, maybe this is what the wake up call that Bailey needs to truly understand that you know what I did was wrong, and I have to make amends with those who I've hurt. And even if that means, see, you talking about Charlotte Flair, you're talking about Mercedes, right? Well, then let's throw Becky Lynch in this. Let's get the 4 horsewomen all together again, okay, and take down damage control because
Becky Lynch got enough on her plate right now to be involved in that. And she's on Raw. This is in SmackDown.
she's appeared on
Could there be a
SmackDown before.
crossover? That's kind of hard to do. Kind of hard to do, but I got you. I got you. You're right. Becky Lynch could be, right? Or will Bianca Belair have a heart and have a sit down with Bailey and then they join forces? That
It's
could be
about
another possibility
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
right? Carmelo Hayes going into SmackDown. I know he got the was it the tag team trophy that's going on in NXT, but Carmelo Hayes is little by little getting his door into SmackDown, but
Mhm.
eventually they had to call an X on him and Austin Theory. That one maneuver landed on their heads when they tried to jump off the top of the ropes. I think they're both okay. Leading into Carmelo Hayes going on for Tuesday's match. We'll see on that. But other than that, Carmelo Hayes is the next big star in SmackDown.
SmackDown, I think, needs a person like him. The high flyers. Somebody especially to deal with Austin Theory and his little goon over there. They're a little
So he
annoying.
used to be called Casanova here at Northeast Wrestling, and it's good to see someone like his caliber who wrestle all over New England to be exposed there now in the main roster. So a big shout out to Carmelo Hayes. And speaking about furthermore on SmackDown, uh, General Manager Aldis there confronting the Bloodline. He is really pissed off at the Bloodline. Okay,
Hmm.
this guy is running the show, and here you got Roman Reigns who says who the hell he thinks he is. I run SmackDown. I run this. And at the end of the day, I hate to say this word, but the authority really runs WWE. Okay. And I think something big has to happen. And this is the climax.
Hmm.
As you know how you write an essay, you gotta have a climax, right? So everything's going up for Roman Reigns. He's on top, but all of a sudden you're on that roller coaster where you're about to go down, right? And I think that he's meeting with Aldis right now, and who knows what can happen afterwards. That it might go down, and over 1,000 days, you've been a champion for so long. I got a feeling that at the end of the day, the general manager is going to win this controversy. And at what cost? That's all I'm saying. At what cost could this happen?
Hmm. I mean, he may have his head on the swivel, right? But he has. But this is going to be a challenge dealing with Roman Reigns. This is not an easy task because we've seen Adam Pearce had a hard time with him. Not saying that Nick Aldis is
Yeah,
like
but
Adam
Adam
Pearce, but
Pearce, he has some mutual agreements with the bloodline, right?
yeah,
After a while, but I don't think all this is that type of person that's going to back down.
no,
He will fight to the very end.
he's not going to back down, but he can't
Mhm.
take this on head on forcefully. He's going to have to find a different tactic to get to Roman Reigns because
He's gonna
going
need the Kevin Owens. He's gonna need maybe called on Adam Pearce to send over Sami Zayn, and maybe, just maybe, the main event Jey Uso might cross over and stuff like that. There's gonna be a big clash that has to happen to where Roman Reigns is gonna be by himself. But what
it,
about The Rock? What's his deal with his speech that he said on Raw, saying that he wants to eat at the head of the table? You know what I mean? Like, where is that going to develop? Where's that happening?
yeah, Nick Aldis may be trying to put too much on his plate, not Roman Reigns' plate. He's going to probably have to. I had just had that thought in the saying in my head. If you can't beat him, join him. He's going to have to go and find out. Hey, word of advice: what can I do? Because I can't seem to get through Roman Reigns. He thought he did by, knocking down his two goons on a 2-on-3 matchup, which is a good start, but that's just going to flare up Roman Reigns even more. And, Roman Reigns is going to fire back next time around.
What's going to happen is that there's another sit down between the two, and Roman Reigns is going to have to acknowledge that all this is the general manager of SmackDown. Okay. But at the same time, Aldis is going to have to acknowledge that he is the head of the table,
Yeah.
right? And but in that case, but when it comes to matches, there's just no way that Roman Reigns is going to dodge the bullet on this one, especially when he's been missing days. And he's going to continue missing days. I got it. But there's a reason. There's got to be a good reason, right? We
Mhm.
need to see an actual number one contender versus Roman Reigns. And we haven't seen that a lot. It's just everything's piecemealing. I want him. I want that. But is there an actual number one contender?
Right.
Could it come from the Royal Rumble?
Mm.
It's hard to say, man.
It
A
is.
lot of
I
fingers
mean,
are pointing at Raw, but is
right.
there will there be a number one contender? I still felt like Randy Orton is the number one guy and more deserving because he is back for redemption. And it was Roman Reigns that did damage to him to knock him out, right? LA Knight don't have that much history. And the
AJ Styles.
phenomenal one, AJ Styles, he has issues of his own with his own peoples, the OCs. Is the OCs going to be together or are they going to split? What's going on there in that
Mhm.
angle? There's
Yeah.
just so much that they're unanswered. Okay. I love this moment right here. This is the Shield's playbook.
Yes.
And this is what happens when you piss three people off for all the bullshit they used to do in the past, right?
Yep.
Solo, who likes to freaking injure people with his thumb, he got that taste of the Shield,
Mhm.
which a lot of people on social media are making some noise of Dean Ambrose might be coming back.
Mm.
I don't think so. That's not going to happen.
No.
No, 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 no.
No.
Shield are not going to get back together. Matter of fact, all three agreed that they will not be back together again. But then again, never say never, right?
Yeah.
But that'll be a good fatal four-way coming up at the Royal Rumble. I'm just here trying to like understand, is this match going to happen at the beginning or is it going to happen after the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, that is very challenging to say because we know if it happens in the beginning, these participants will be in the Royal Rumble. But if they
Based
leave
on
it,
your stats, I still have Randy Orton as the final four. I can't
well,
dismiss that though. You know
no,
what I
we'll
mean?
we'll leave it at that because he has the most Final Fours anyway. So yeah,
Right, right. So,
I mean, I think
anyway,
it'll be a storybook ending if the Fatal Four Way started first, and then they all enter, and then Randy Orton wins it. Then now
because
he's
Roman Reigns has started before when the Royal Rumble.
mm-hmm.
He has. So, he did it with Seth Rollins, right?
because at least we'll have a clear, decisive winner challenging Roman Reigns, and then Raw can figure out who they want to deal with
Mm-hmm.
on that side for Seth Rollins.
Mm,
Seeing if Seth Rollins is cleared to defend his title pretty soon.
right. Another faction, brand new faction starting with the WWE. Now this time it's called the Final Testament. And it's no other than the leader, Karrion Cross.
Oh my!
He has AOP with Ellering and Scarlett. What do you think about this faction?
I think they could be very brutal if they stay together for quite some time. But I mean, there's only three of them. I mean, the other two are managers. So I mean, is it really a faction?
Well, Scarlett is a key figure for Karrion Cross because if you take Scarlett out, it's like Karrion Cross is kryptonite, right? If she's not there, then all hell breaks loose. But if she's there, then they're just the most powerful, destructible team ever. But yeah, between them versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits,
Oh, they don't even have a name for each other.
well, that they might have a name called the Pride. I've heard there's rumors that their new name is going to be the Pride. I don't know how significant it is, but I tell you what, is it the Judgment Day or is it the Final Testament? You see how everything relates to the Bible?
Exactly. And I was just going to say that this is very biblical between the two because when we talk about the final testament, we're talking about the book of Revelations, the last book in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in there, we talk about the judgment day, you know, the coming back of Christ. So
Right.
I see where these two factions are putting this, and they're both playing the bad role, the heel role in all this, the
Mm-hmm.
darkness out of all this, as if they're gonna bring they're like both groups are gonna bring Armageddon to the WWE.
Well, you know what? You know what's bringing is this comedy stuff with our truth with the Judgment Day. They're spicing it up right there.
Now, I would like to see a face-off in the Royal Rumble between the two factions.
Oh, that'd be pretty awesome.
Just a face-off, they're all standing in the ring,
Mhm.
just staring at each other, and then, of course, they get the fighting and then or whatever. But that'd be a great face-off.
Well, you know what else is going to be a great face-off is this match that's happening next week on Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Now, I purposely put Rhea Ripley in the middle between them two, and I am left scratching as to what's going on between Rhea Ripley and why she always saying leave Drew out of it. Every time Damian Priest mentions Drew's name, Rhea Ripley always finds a way to say, leave it alone. We'll move on to something else. Like she's always dodging that conversation. And Damian Priest had to go behind her back and talk to the general manager, Adam Pearce, to schedule a match with him and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, she's butting in.
I want to
She,
know what it is, what's going on.
I think she's trying
Is
to.
it true that they're trying to oust Damian Priest
I think that's what
or
she's trying to
what?
do.
But it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense because he's holding the tag team titles and he's holding the briefcase.
But at
So
the
you,
same time, you would think that maybe Finn Balor will look at him different, or it's not, the only person that looks suspect right now is Rhea Ripley herself.
yeah,
Like she's handling too much things instead of concentrating on herself, and I think that's what's gonna beat her, bite her in the ass
yeah,
if she doesn't just focus on just the women's division
hmm
because she might find herself losing that title.
yeah, yeah. You're definitely right. If you take the focus off of what the women's division is doing,
Mhm.
you're gonna lose that title, and then all for nothing with the Judgment Day because she ain't nothing without that title in Judgment Day.
I don't see Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest match having a conclusion. I got a feeling that Rhea Ripley is going to interfere. The point is that who is she going to interfere for? Is it Drew McIntyre or Damian Priest? And what about the rest of the Judgment Day? What's going to happen there?
Yeah. Unless there's some kind of weird scenario where this is her way of trying to get rid of Drew McIntyre by luring him into the lion's den just to get bit in the head. I don't
But
know.
we haven't seen Rhea Ripley associate with Drew McIntyre for a while, though.
Yeah.
Ever since the Survivor Series was over, Drew went his way, and he's
Mm,
been wanting the championship, but he can't stand Damian Priest interfering for his goals, right?
yeah.
He even called him out. He actually called out Damian Priest first, calling him stupid because he was telling he could have waited to cash in the briefcase after he was finished with Seth Rollins.
I mean, he does make a point though. That's a small point. I gotta
Right.
confess, he's right on that.
But when you talk about bad against someone, will you not want redemption? Like, oh, you calling me stupid? And then you want to fight the guy. And
Oh
that's what
yeah.
Damian Priest wants.
Well,
He said my name,
he's Puerto Rican. What you expect?
of course.
He wants
But
to
there's
fight.
Drew McIntyre. Look, them two ended Monday Night Raw fighting each other.
Hmm.
Okay. So I can't wait. I hope it's the first match, but this type of match really has a caliber of being the main event.
If somewhere down
Or
the line, if somewhere
Mhm.
down the line, Drew McIntyre causes them to lose the tag team titles, then yes, I can see where it's her plotting to get rid of him.
Well, we're not close for a tag team title
Right,
shot
right,
yet.
right.
But it all depends on what's going to happen in this match on Monday night. Because if Damian Priest has the upper hand, then Drew McIntyre may interfere during a tag team championship match in probably on Raw before Royal Rumble or something,
Yeah, because
and
you still got
that
the
will
Royal
start the
Rumble.
feud.
You got still
Yeah,
the Royal Rumble, and you talk about McIntyre eliminating Priest, and that just get
but
under the skin
what
even worse.
about this? What if Damian Priest is in the Royal Rumble and he eliminates Drew McIntyre?
Either way, one eliminates the other is going to be a lot more bad blood, more than what
Mm.
it is now. And what is she going to do? She's going to come on down ringside and try to call things off. Mm-mm.
There's something's got to look. This match if Rhea Ripley's not in it, we got a problem. But then we're way off this. Okay. I'm just going by the cues and everything else that's been
But
mentioned. And you know this, and we're a witness. Rhea Ripley always has something to say when Drew McIntyre's name pops up.
yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to understand our truth here because our truth has a point. We haven't seen Dom or we haven't seen Nick. Where are they at in Judgment Day? Is this what
Well,
Goto?
they were there.
I were they hanging out with little Jimmy? Because I didn't see
Oh,
him. I didn't see Dom,
no, they had a match.
Don, and Nick.
Who's Nick?
Exactly. You know, you're not
Did
getting.
he call him Nick?
He's calling Dominic, Dom, Don, and Nick. He's like, where
Oh, duh.
he
Yeah.
hasn't seen them
Yeah.
in Judgment Day since he
Right.
became a member. So he wants to know where Don and Nick is at. You don't know where
Mhm.
these two guys are at. So are they going to be part of this
I
Royal
am
Rumble?
so late on that one.
I'm
I
sorry.
am
Hey.
so late. I thought he kept calling what's his name, Nick.
No, he's like because Dominic's name, so he's breaking it into two different names. He's like Don and Nick. I was like, he don't know where they're at.
I loved how R-Truth is hustling to get cash, right?
I
And he's
love
all
it.
giving out money and stuff like that.
There's your
And yet
cut.
he's supposed to be in the Miz's team, right? And then, like, I don't think he
Oh,
understood the instructions that Damian Priest gave him. And that's why he had Priest gave him the signature move, right? I mean, it is what it is,
you tell
but
him don't tag in. Don't
don't
tag.
tag in. But
He didn't
he tagged
understand the
in.
assignment.
Mm.
Oh lordy.
Oh man, that's just crazy talk right there. Um, listen, one more before we go, and the Royal Rumble is happening in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have my final four. The question is, do you have your final four? I mean, you still got time. You still got time. Now,
Yeah.
remind you, we have to come up with a final four, and we have to come up with our final four numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got a
Now,
better chances of hitting the lottery in Texas than doing that.
yes. So here we go. As of right now, this is my final four. I have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton.
Hmm.
But that's a wild card because if if Roman Reigns mains event the Royal Rumble, then Randy Orton is not part of the Royal Rumble because he's gonna want his hands. He wants that title,
Right.
right? But because it's a fatal four way, my gut tells me this is gonna be the opening match of the night. Give these guys some time, and then they will piecemeal them in to the Royal Rumble. And I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton's number 30.
If possible, yeah.
And if he is, I mean, but then again, the last 2 years of the Royal Rumble, number 30 has won. I doubt if number 30 is going to win
Yeah,
this upcoming year. And
exactly.
nothing in history have ever said back to back, like 3 times in a row, there's never been a number 30 winning. However, number 30 has won 5 times in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but no, I don't see him winning it. I mean, he'll probably be a different number. I would like to see a number that hasn't won it yet. That's gonna probably be my thing. I'm gonna stick to that. No, we got several numbers that haven't won it. I would like to see a number drawn there somewhere.
All right.
So
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, let me see. Um, a number that hasn't won yet. Number 4. Number 4 has not won in the Royal Rumble. Number 6, 7, or 9.
that's 4 low single digit numbers.
Interested to see who's gonna be those numbers in that entry. All right. Who knows? Maybe there's a number that hasn't been used could win it this year. Let me see. Let's go for the teams. You ready? Number 11, 12, and 13. Never won a Royal Rumble.
Lucky number 13. I like it.
number 15, number 17.
I like it.
If you paid attention to the all four downs, the HHW show Fantasy Royal Rumble, Triple H was number 19. Do you know who else won number 19?
Indulge me.
Two times number 19 has won, and it was from the same person, Bautista.
That's interesting. To win the
I
Royal Rumble at this with the same exact
the
number. That's
same number. Exactly.
love it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Let's go to the 20s. 20 and 21 never won.
Well, I like 21. You're drinking age there.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
Uh 26 never won. And that's outside looking in,
Yeah.
right? That's outside of the final four. Uh and then the final four, all those numbers have won. So but 26 never won.
I
That
know
is
it.
crazy. And
Okay.
it's something else that I learned. Did you know in the women's Royal Rumble, Shotzi, or the old name Shotzi Blackheart, Shotzi's favorite number is 23 because the last three of the last four Royal Rumbles, the number 23, she's always been the 23rd eliminator.
Mm,
So when you're doing your numbers, just make sure that number 23 is going to be Shotzi.
right. Yeah. I'll be definitely paying close attention to that this year.
Yes, yes. But that is crazy. That is crazy. But as far as the Royal Rumble was concerned, the last two numbers was 30, and that was Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble. And as if you do know, remember Brock Lesnar lost the title and he got himself back into the Royal Rumble and won it for another match for the title. Before that, Edge was number one, and he won the Royal Rumble, and only one. Let me see, two times, two times has a number one and the number two finish all the way to the end. You had Edge and Randy Orton,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog back in 1995 when Shawn Michaels won his first Royal Rumble at the number one entry.
Right.
So, and let me ask you this: do you think Cody Rhodes has a chance to win back to back and become the fourth superstar to do it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say he's one of the highly favorites. Yeah, I would say he's highly favored to do that. For real.
All right. Big shout out to Kyle Robinson tuning in to the HSW show. Glad I could catch you on again. Hey man, what's up? How you doing? I'm glad you watching. And Nitsangal, hi. Following us on YouTube. Hello. I'm glad you are with us today. Uh, and the question today is who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? Now we're on that conversation. Again, the last two entries are number 30. And watch this. We were just talking about the ones and twos to finish, but the 30s and 29s is only happened twice as well. All right. I'm double checking to make sure I'm right. Yes, I'm right. So remember, Brock Lesnar was number 30 and one. He eliminated Drew McIntyre. You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we go back to 2008, John Cena came back.
Yes.
Okay. And he eliminated Triple H.
Yeah.
Both of them was number 30 and 29.
Right. Yeah. John Cena was number 30.
Right. And he surprised Triple H. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he was injured and he came back and surprised everybody, right?
Mhm.
Um, Kyle Robinson says The Rock is going to win the Royal Rumble. I think if the only way he wins the Royal Rumble, if he's number 30, I just don't see him being in the Royal Rumble match for a long period of time.
No, he's
And
not.
if he,
He's not
it,
built for that.
no, but if he were, CM Punk is going to eliminate him.
Oh, bring back some old
He's
stuff.
trying to finish the story. Why not do it that way, right?
Lord have mercy. Yeah.
I don't know. As of right now, let me ask you this: who you think, Hector, right now? And I know you. In a couple of weeks, when we have our prediction show, is going to change. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble?
I would say if I had to say something right now, it'd be CM Punk. I think he's a changed man. I think he realized, what he did back in the past, and he has been he's a changed person, even though his demons are catching up to him,
Right.
i.e. the superstars of the locker room. But I don't think he gonna allow that to face him, and he's just letting us all know he don't care who it is. He got to go through, whether it be Cody, Drew McIntyre. He don't care. He's going through everybody.
I'm going to tell you that if CM Punk were to win, I need Sheamus to come back, and you should be back for the Royal Rumble. And the reason why I say that because you don't have Batista anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns is already a champion, so he's not going to be involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Sheamus was also part of the final four before Kane, who was already eliminated by Punk, came back and took CM Punk out of the game. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that CM Punk needs to go against head to head inside that ring during the Royal Rumble against Sheamus to see if that can happen, right? Because if you're going to finish the story, it's almost like, well, what if I did this? What if I did that? You could cancel two out. You got one superstar remaining, and that is Sheamus. Okay. What else? But then there's also Gunther. Gunther went from he was number two, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
He spent over an
An
hour. I
hour,
think
yep.
he broke the record, right? For the longest time inside the ring. Yeah, he got eliminated by Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I lied. Gunther was number one.
Okay.
Okay. What else? He could be a possibility. A lot of rumors speculating. Matter of fact, if you're betting, Gunther is actually the number one on the list. The odds of him winning, and that happened before CM Punk came. Right? Everyone was all on the bad wearing Gunther, but it's kind of hard to say he could win if he is still the Intercontinental Champion.
Well, then we already know what's going to happen then.
But has there ever been a champion winning the Royal Rumble?
No,
I don't
'cause
think that's never happened in the Royal Rumble.
I think the closest we've gotten was Roman Reigns before Triple H eliminated him and took the belt from him because he had to defend the title in the Royal Rumble. Roman
Who
Reigns, Roman
Yes,
Reigns
he
had to
did.
defend, yeah,
He did,
and
and
Triple H.
that's the first defense in history, but the second time that they actually used the title involved in the Royal Rumble. As you remember, WrestleMania. No, that was a tournament, so I
I mean,
scratched that.
you know what?
Right,
I could see Gunther winning it and still holding that belt, and then he vacates it to say that he's never lost that title. I could see that.
I can see that too. We did that. The Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior, did that when he faced off against Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
WrestleMania 6. The Warrior did defeat Hulk Hogan and he vacated the Intercontinental Championship belt. So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Um if come on. Dominic Mysterio. Come on. A matter of fact, he might set the record, but then Santino Marella with 1.9 seconds, he might be eliminated in 1.5 seconds. I'm just saying, it's just a random wrestler I'm thinking about. Ah, I see, man. But if you think a lot about Dominic, you better speak to our truth, because he thinks that's two people.
Yeah, he thinks
Um,
Dom and Nick is somewhere running around. They're gonna be part of the Royal Rumble. Who knows?
so total joke, definitely see Punk or Cody. Um, everything, the narrative is always them two. And to be honest with you, I feel like there is a trap in believing that it's gonna be them two. Especially they both have the similar goals. Everyone has a story, but is there anyone that's quiet that can sneak in and win the Royal Rumble?
You may think I'm crazy, but it could be Damian Priest.
See,
And I
not
s-
only,
I
not
say
only,
I
not
say
only
that
is the Money to Bank winner.
right. But see, that secures him with
Mm,
an automatic title shot. So if he loses the running the briefcase, he's still the number one contender for the title. You see, that's a double. We never had somebody do that.
mm.
That'd be my super wild card, like we had football this past weekend. That'd be my super
Okay,
wild card. Be Damian Priest.
I do have the Judgment Day ahead of Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Okay, so it could be Finn Balor or it could be Damian Priest. But I also have Cody. I will pick Cody Rhodes. He's on top of my list. CM Punk is just getting in the picture. We don't even know how much longevity he has in there. Let her know, like, what number will he fall under? If he's in the 20s, then I can see CM Punk favored. But if he's in the beginning of the Royal Rumble, I just don't see it. I really don't.
I
Um,
think they'll keep him close. They'll keep him in there long enough for him
mhm.
and Drew McIntyre to face off and see what happens, develops there between these two. Because he said he was going to eliminate him last. He did
Right.
say that.
On SmackDown, the top superstar that I could think of is Randy Orton. And and again, you have this, and then you have the Elimination Chamber.
Right. Right.
Okay. So,
Hmm.
like, everyone's goal is always going to be winning the Royal Rumble. Everybody wants to main event WrestleMania.
So
Okay. But there are other ways to main event WrestleMania.
why not a Raw superstar winning the Royal Rumble and leave SmackDown to deal with the Elimination Chamber to go after Roman Reigns? Because then you could see
Because there's already a fatal four-way happening at the Royal Rumble.
and put them three superstars in the Elimination Chamber to go at it one more
Well,
time.
who else are you going to add to? Well, you got LA Knight, you have AJ Styles, Randy Orton. Who else is going to be in that picture? You need three more superstars. Or will they bring three more from Raw in that picture, and whoever wins from Raw will transition into SmackDown?
We got a lot of heavy hitters, right? We got a lot of superstars, a lot of heavy hitters on the rosters, on both to combined rosters. So yeah, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, put them all in the Elimination Chamber. Let's see who is the best of the best. Everybody's talking a good game. Everybody's trying to gun for a title. Okay, so
Mhm.
let's settle it once and for all. Let's put all the number one seeds together in the Elimination Chamber and see who is the best of the best.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, listen. Matter of fact, next Tuesday is our prediction show where I even forgot the date. Today is the January 16th.
16th to
So
23rd.
next week is the 23rd, which is the Tuesday before the actual Royal Rumble. Okay. We will be live here next Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have our prediction of all the matches, including both the women's and men's Royal Rumble. And then each one, we are going to play a lottery. Who is your final four numbers that are going to represent in the Royal Rumble? And those numbers do not include with the superstar. All right, that's a total separate pick. Who is your final four, and what are your final four numbers leading in to the Royal Rumble? And of
Mhm.
other matches such as Roman Reigns and the Fatal Four Way for that title. Um, Actually, that's the only event that I know. Oh, I forgot the United States Championship. Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul. That's gonna happen. Um, we'll see there, man. There's just so much more. There ain't that many matches because these Royal Rumbles do last over an hour or so. So definitely. Big shout out again, once again, to Kyle Robinson and Nitz and Gal. Kyle says sleeper alert. What about a Ray return? Well, yes, Ray Mysterio should return, but on that note, it's either Santos Escobar, which I could see them two having a rivalry. I wanted a father son match again, but I don't think that's gonna happen. That might be a SummerSlam thing. but I'm definitely going to see Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. And my vision is this, is that Santos Escobar will already be in the ring when Rey comes out. Rey will eliminate Santos Escobar and create another feud. What else? Did they did they say a time frame for him? Otherwise, I say Cody or Punk. Okay, I got you there. Do you think that number 14 is actually cursed? That is a great question. I like that. Is it cursed? I need to look that one up because I don't think anybody. No, 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 no. I'll take it back. Number 14 is not cursed, Nitsengal, because number 14 has already won a Royal Rumble, and that was Shinsuke Nakamura back in 2018. Shinsuke Nakamura eliminated Roman Reigns when Reigns was number 28. Also in that Final Four was John Cena and Finn Balor. So 14 is not cursed, but we'll see. We will see. The best record, get HHW gear. Yeah. You know what, Kyle? Once Northeast Wrestling is popping up, I'm definitely got to make a shirt for you. And you get to wear the HHW show t-shirt, man. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you all that's popping in right now for listening. If you missed our show, go ahead and replay it again on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. And the fact that next week, prediction show all the way, what's happening at the Royal Rumble. And I want you guys all to join with us in our competition. I'm definitely going to write everyone that makes their picks, write it down, and I'm going to award the winner. And I will make a 30-second segment of you as a champion and acknowledge you as the Royal Rumble champion. I think that we could do that, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? So tune in next week, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hector, thank you. Frank, hopefully I'll see you next week. And for all the listeners, thank you so much for your support. You got to love some wrestling.
Got it. Royal Rumble, baby.
Royal Rumble.